Well, hello everyone, how are you doing this fine day? Hope you're enjoying your week. Welcome to another survival challenge. In particular, why do I have to tell you? Like, you just read the title of the video. You read the title of the video, and you saw the thumbnail, and you clicked on it. What, were you fucking blindfolded when you clicked on the video? You know what the video is. Why you want me to explain it to you? That don't make no sense. Why is this intro even necessary? You should know what you're getting into. In all seriousness, you guys actually did seem to enjoy the last one that I did, so I'm just gonna do that again, because I don't have to be creative if I just do it again. I just do it again. And then there's the added benefit of me being able to slot a bunch of characters from movies that I think are really, really cool. So it's kind of like, yeah, it's a survival challenge. You get to enjoy the survival challenge, but you also get to see a bunch of stuff that maybe you haven't seen before. And you're like, oh, that looks cool. Let me go check that out. And then you check it out and you're like, oh man, Rouga's so fucking awesome. Thank you for telling me about these awesome things I didn't know before. And then you can go check them out because this is all good stuff. All good stuff here. You're gonna enjoy it. If you're new to my channel and you've never seen any of my videos in the past, sorry for confusing the fuck out of you just now. It is what it is, you know, welcome to the internet. But basically what we do here is we take a bunch of different characters or scenarios or situations and mash them in with another character, scenario, situation, see what might happen if that situation, character, scenario happened in this other character, situation, scenario. The basic gist here is Alien. If you ever seen the movie Alien, you have some kind of fucking horrible thing on a ship with a bunch of people, and the question is, how will they deal with having that horrifying shit on the same ship they are, and they have to survive, and that's the whole thing. So we're gonna have a Helldiver super destroyer and the entire crew of around 40-ish people, and then we're gonna take these 4 things and toss them on a ship with them and be like, hey, fucking deal with that shit. That's your problem now. And that's the video. That's what you clicked on. Not that I had to tell you, because again, it's in the title of the video. But I'm wasting up your time. Let's get started. First up on the chopping block, we have Ghostface from the Scream series. I know what you're thinking. Rouga, what the hell were you thinking? Seriously, a dude with a knife. You're gonna take a dude with a knife and go throw him up on a ship in space with a bunch of trained military operatives. That's dumb. What are you thinking? And my answer to that would be like, you know what? You're gonna feel real fucking stupid in a little bit because it's a little more to it than that, right? Yes, if you take, I don't know, Billy and Stu from the first Scream movie. Sorry for spoiling a movie that's older than fucking half the people watching this video. But if you take them and you chuck them on a spaceship with a bunch of Helldivers and fucking CAF officers, yeah, you're screwed. That's not, they're gonna die. But if you think about it, like how it would work if it was in this series, where you basically have like an actual person who joins the SCAF and gets on a super destroyer who happens to be from Woodsboro, California, which is the town that's in the Scream movies, and then he decides to start doing the murders on the ship. Now all of a sudden it's a little more interesting, right? Because he's also a trained military operative, and now you just have people starting to disappear on the ship with some dude walking around with a fucking Bowie knife just murdering people. It's a cool concept for a possible movie that could happen. Like, they make a Helldivers movie, doesn't necessarily have to be the actual Ghostface Scream killers, but that would be a cool concept. A military ship in space where one of them loses their fucking mind and starts going around murdering people. It's like a serial killer on a military spaceship. That's a cool plot to what could be a pretty cool movie. You have to admit. But in this particular case, we're gonna do the whole Scream thing. It's a dude, lived in Woodsboro, became obsessed with horror movies and decided that he wanted to be the killer of his own horror movie that's not a movie. It's all meta and, you know, interesting and whatnot. All that. Yeah, that's gonna happen here. How's it gonna go? Pretty bad. It would still go pretty bad. The problem here mainly is the location. A super destroyer is insanely fucking small, and there's nowhere to go outside the super destroyer. You're all just trapped here. There's also the fact that it's a military vessel, so every single person on the ship has a specific location they're supposed to be at a specific time. Everything's very heavily scheduled. If one person in one section of the ship dies, then you would just look at all the people who are in that section of the ship. Basically, if one of the officers becomes Ghostface and then kills someone in their own section of the ship, it's gonna narrow down pretty fucking hard who the killer is. And if he doesn't do that and he leaves and goes to a different section of the ship, kills him there, he's gonna have to go to that section of the ship without being seen because he doesn't belong in that section of the ship, kill a dude, and then go back to his own place without anybody realizing he ever left. Basically, any way you slice it, it's gonna be super easy for them to narrow down who the Ghostface killer is. You also have the concept of the whole Ghostface outfit. This could possibly work a little bit better if the person killing people didn't feel feel the need to dress up in a fucking Ghostface outfit. The moment he puts the Ghostface outfit on, like, how you don't just swap out of that like it's nothing. It's gonna be very obvious that you're going around in a fucking Ghostface outfit. Again, the ship is really small. Where are you gonna start stealth killing fucking people on this ship? Where are you gonna put your knife and your clothes that no one's gonna find it? It would be a serious weakness just to try and do the whole Ghostface motif. It would be far more effective if he just didn't worry about the outfit at all and was just like a normal serial killer. But if you did that, he wouldn't be Ghostface. Like, the whole thing about Ghostface is he's got the fucking outfit. You can't start killing people without the outfit and still be called Ghostface. Now, to be fair, the Ghostface killers actually do have a lot of experience of killing people in locations that are extremely populated and not particularly big. Like in Scream 2, Ghostface literally just kills someone in the middle of a public college, broad daylight. Hundreds of people all around, murdered him, no one noticed. In Scream 1, Cindy gets attacked in the middle of a high school bathroom in broad daylight. Now, it is sort of left ambiguous of whether or not that was actually Ghostface, or if that was just another high school boy dressed up as Ghostface to fuck with her. So perhaps you can say that that doesn't count, but there's still a bunch of other moments. There's a moment where Ghostface just appears in a fucking corner store in a gas station while Sydney is buying drinks or whatever. He's just staring at her from the other side of the gas station in full-on Ghostface outfit. No one notices him somehow, and then he just like dips. Like, the store owner doesn't notice him leaving the store with the fucking Ghostface outfit on. Does he take the outfit off before he leaves? If that was the case, why did he put the outfit on at all? Why didn't he just, like, that outfit, he was just wearing an outfit for us. He wasn't wearing it for Sydney because Sydney never sees him wearing it. He also starts killing several people in the middle of a party in his own house. There's like 30 people in this party, and he's just killing them all as they go and get separated from the party, picking them off one by one. So it's not like it's impossible for Ghostface to actually successfully kill people, but the fact that no one can leave ever, and they're stuck in this little location, and the fact that it's a very organized military location, meaning, like, for instance, let's say one person dies. All of a sudden, everyone's like, all right, I want records of where everybody was, when they were there. I want everyone on this ship searched immediately, have them all come to the brig. We're gonna search every single person, see if they have the murder weapon. We're gonna search the ship from head to toe, try and find this murder weapon. There's just a massive control over the environment and the people within the environment on a military vessel in a way that wouldn't exist in a high school or a town or a college or all the different locations that exist within the Scream universe. So for the most part, the people who started watching this video thinking to themselves, oh, well, you know, this is stupid Ghostface. I mean, you're kind of right. Unless, in this hypothetical scenario, it is eventually revealed, because every single movie is like a mystery where they don't know who the Ghostface killer is until it's eventually revealed to be these two people. Yes, Ghostface is always two people, which will help a little bit in the location murder thing. I don't think enough to make a massive difference, but it will help a little bit. But the major thing, and really the only way I could see Ghostface being pretty successful here, is if it is eventually revealed that Ghostface is actually the Helldiver. Dun dun dun! Crazy, right? Fucking massive twist. Why? Because the Helldiver's basically in control of the whole ship. There's nowhere on the ship that he can't go. He's essentially the captain. He controls all the people. Everyone on the ship looks up to him as if he is a superhero godlike being, because this is how the culture of Super Earth views Helldivers. They view them basically the same way that we would view like Superman. So if the Helldiver lost his fucking mind and was like super obsessed with horror movies from the 80s and was like, I want to like recreate a fucking horror movie and start axing people off, he would be expected to search for the killer, who is himself. He would be able to actually put people off into the wrong direction, have them think that it's other people instead of himself. If he's clever enough, he can have everyone on the ship looking in fucking circles for a killer who's fucking him, and no one will believe that it's him because he's the one looking for the killer the hardest out of everybody. But he'll never find him because, you know, it's fucking him. And even if the Helldiver doesn't do the best job of covering his tracks and other people do start suspecting him, because he's a Helldiver and because they have such a high view of Helldivers as a whole, it won't be like if they started suspecting someone else, right? If they suspect Joe from engineering, then Joe from engineering is gonna have a lot of fucking shit to deal with. Everyone's gonna be on his ass. They're gonna be looking at him like super, super hard. The Helldiver who's in charge of the ship is gonna be like, okay, you need to be like in a brig or something. We need to like really try and prove your innocence. But if people start suspecting a Helldiver, half the fucking ship is gonna be like, no, we don't believe, no way. Like, it's gonna take a lot more to convince them that he's done it rather than any old normal asshole on the ship. So he's gonna get away with it a little bit longer. Is he going to completely get away with it? No, not really. I mean, the only way he would be able to is if he can successfully frame someone else for the murders and then just stop murdering people. Like, just don't do it anymore. This isn't a situation like a lot of the other horrors that we put on this ship where it's like they'll just kill everyone on the ship. He literally can't kill everyone on the ship because the more people he kills, the more obvious it's gonna be that it's him. He'll only be able to take out, I don't know, there's like 40 people, maybe a little more than 40 people on the ship, so maybe he'll be able to take out like 5 or 6 before it's like, okay, this is getting like super, like things are getting pretty hard. It's kind of getting hard to get away with this, so I'm just gonna frame this dude and then fuck it, we're just done. And then, you know, maybe some other time I'll try doing it again on a different ship. That's really the only option he's got. Do I think that's likely? No, but is it possible? Yeah, kind of. You know, I mean, it can be done. However, on the other hand, most of the Ghostface killers are pretty fucking retarded, so I don't really see them being able to, like, you know, do this. It's very heavily implied in the first Scream movie that even if all of their plans went exactly like they wanted to, they still would have been very clearly guilty of all of the murders and gone to jail anyway. Like, that's a big part of most of the Scream movies, that none of these bitches are gonna actually get away with it. It's super obvious who the killer is by the end of almost all of these movies, with the exception of maybe Scream 4. If we assume that this Ghostface is just as much of a dumbass as all the other Ghostface, then yeah, he's not getting away with it. No, he's pretty fucked. How's it going, everybody? Hope y'all are having a good week. Rouga Rabid here. Just here to announce that the aggressive marketing campaign is doing fan-fucking-tastic. So I figure now it's time to step it up a notch, don't you? Meet Rick. Look at him. Look at that sweet little one-eyed bastard. Isn't he so cute? For step 2 of Rouga Rabid's aggressive marketing campaign, we've decided to find this little guy a home. So remember to like, subscribe, and join the membership if you want him to find a home. Because if you don't, I'll make sure he never fucking finds one. Ever. I'll kill this fucking dog. I'll drown him in the fucking pool. It's right there. Look at it. Okay? So like, subscribe. Do it. Now. You think I'm okay. I'm just saying. Just letting you know. Alright? It's gonna happen. Okay, enjoy the video. First, I'm on chopping block his fucking ugly mandible face from the Predator series, any of them, any Predator movie. Aha! I fooled you. See, you thought Scream was first. No, Scream actually is a human, so could possibly hide among the humans for a little bit of time, which means he actually could survive for a little bit. Even if he only gets 1 kill, and then like survives for like a day or 2 while they're looking for him, and then they eventually find him and, you know, kill him, that's still longer than the Predator is gonna survive. The Predator is a 7-foot tall, giant fucking mandible-faced alien. He has camouflage, cool, I guess, but it's super obvious that it's there. You could see it. There are multiple instances throughout all the movies where he uses the camouflage, and people look at the fucking camouflage and they're like, yeah, he's right there. Like, you could see him. And he's trapped on a little super destroyer ship. Are you serious? Where is he gonna go? Like I said, he's almost 7 foot tall. He's not like a xenomorph that can hide in crevices. He's fucking huge. And the super destroyer is not only a small ship, but it has very large open rooms within that small ship. So like, there isn't a whole lot of places to hide. Like, what's he gonna do? Go stand in a fucking broom closet until it's time to kill somebody and then go hide back in the broom closet? No! The moment he steps out of that closet, everyone's gonna see him, they're gonna hear him, it's fucking crickety metal all over the place, his footsteps are gonna be loud as shit. He's just a very noticeable thing. Like, I mean, what's he gonna do? Now, there is one thing I need to bring up that I did not bring up in the last video that I made. In my last video, I talked about how all of the SDAF officers are extremely well trained with guns, and they've all been trained since childhood to use guns, so it's not like any of them will be completely outmatched by any of the things that they come up against. They'll die and they'll be killed and all kinds of stuff, but they do have the training. What I did not mention, because I totally forgot to bring it up, not even gonna lie, is that none of them are actually armed on this ship. Yeah, if you like walk around the ship and look at them, none of them actually have guns on their person. So it doesn't matter how good they are with guns. If they don't have any guns on them when they're being fucking murder raped by these giant aliens, it's just gonna happen. They're dead now. Which brings up an interesting dilemma when it comes to the Predators, because Predators don't attack unarmed people. Most of the people on his ship are gonna be unarmed. The only person who's not unarmed is gonna be the Helldiver. So basically, if the Predator gets on the ship, he's only gonna have 1 person to kill. That's the Helldiver. He's gonna have to wait for the Helldiver to go somewhere, to which the Predator can then kill the Helldiver. And then once he kills the Helldiver, he can essentially just leave the fucking ship, because anybody else he comes into contact with, if he kills them, it'll essentially be like a bad blood, dishonorable kill. So just leave. Just go. Get off the ship. There's nothing else you could do here. The question then is how easily he'll be able to actually get to the Helldiver and kill the Helldiver, because as I said, the Helldiver Helldiver is always armed. He always has 2 sets of guns on him, all of his armor, like he's always wearing that shit. He doesn't take it off. So when the Helldiver comes into contact with him, he's gonna have to try and stealth kill him. Again, something that's very, very difficult to do because the Helldiver's always around other people. Like, it's literally not possible in the game to go and be off by yourself in the ship at any point. I guess, I don't know, I'm sure there's a bathroom somewhere on that ship that we don't see. You know, go take a piss, maybe. And then the Predator's gonna be waiting for him to take a piss, and he kills him like that. I don't know. I mean, it's possible. It's possible that maybe he can get him. But honestly, I'm not even 100% sold on the idea that he would kill the Helldiver. There's not a single gun the Helldiver has that will not go through Predator armor. Helldivers themselves are physically stronger than normal humans. So it's not gonna be the same situation when someone like Dutch tried to fist fight the Predator. The Helldiver's gonna do a lot better. We've seen Helldiver punch through fucking titanium. He punches through the faces of the automatons. They're made out of titanium. The Predator's never fucking punched through titanium. I don't think you can 100% say that the Predator is more powerful than your average Helldiver. You can't say their weapons are better. They're all mostly bladed weapons with one plasma caster, which is very similar to a bunch of fucking weapons the Helldivers have. You can't say that they're better trained. The Helldivers take on literally dozens upon dozens upon dozens of dudes at a time, whereas we've never seen the Predator do that. And when they do, it basically always leads to their death. I don't think this is a 100% guarantee that he's going to be able to do it. Basically, what the Predator has to do is the Predator has to sneak on board the ship. He then has to sneak by all of the soldiers without being seen at all, get to the Helldiver when the Helldiver's alone, kill the Helldiver without the Helldiver noticing him there, then sneak off the ship again without anybody noticing. There is nothing in this series showing that a Predator could do anything near that. Who's this motherfucker? Sam Fisher? No! You guys do realize that Predators die in literally every movie they've ever been in, right? Like, they never live. They always lose to normal fucking people. They just don't have that level of stealth skills. Even if the Predator could somehow get on board the ship without alerting everybody, which is fucking hard because it's a spaceship, you know, in space, he would then have to sneak his 7-foot-tall ass with his shitty camo through at bare minimum 15-20 other people before eventually arriving to the Helldiver, who's on the brig in the center of the fucking ship, surrounded by dozens of people, and then kill him. I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it happening. Next up on the list, we have Count Orlock from Nosferatu. That's right, Orlock, not Dracula, because Orlock is better. I really don't understand what everyone's love of Dracula even is. I don't get it. Like, every single vampire story in the history of ever has to have Dracula as the first vampire ever, the most powerful, the greatest, the king of vampires. Why is this the case? Dracula is not the first vampire of any medium. He wasn't the first vampire in novels. He's predated by like 70 years by other vampires. He wasn't the first vampire in movies. That was Count Orlock. This vampire I'm currently talking about, he's nowhere near as powerful or dangerous as Orlock. I just don't get it. I really don't. I mean, hell, Nosferatu as a movie that is not a Dracula movie is closer to the original Dracula novel than the actual Dracula movies. It's kind of wild. Just to give you an example of the difference in power between Dracula, we're gonna mostly pull from the Bela Lugosi Dracula, since that's basically what all other adaptations of Dracula are based on anyway. But just to give you a couple of examples of the difference of their power, Bela Lugosi Dracula is capable of mesmerizing and hypnotizing anybody who he comes into contact with. He can do it on sight. He looks into their eyes, and then he does this little weird hand motion, and he can control their mind. He's only ever shown doing it to one person at a time, and there are multiple movies, including the very first Dracula film from 1931, where people are shown being able to resist this ability. He is not capable of controlling Van Helsing in the first Dracula film. By comparison, Count Orlock is capable of controlling people and mind-fucking people from countries away, and he's capable of doing it to, bare minimum, dozens, if not hundreds of people at a time. At one point in both stories, Dracula and Orlock have to travel from their country of origin to England. They both get on a ship to do this. They lock themselves in a crate, go on the ship, and then they have to be transported. Both of these trips end the same way, with the ship landing in England with everyone on board dead. The difference is how they do it. In the Bela Lugosi Dracula movie, and basically every Dracula movie that's ever been made, Dracula gets out of his crate at some point and murders everybody on board, feeding on them and killing them all, basically basically their little snacks for him during the long trip. However, the Nosferatu version of the story has Orlock stay in the crate for almost the entire trip, and just his presence on the ship causes a plague to release among the entire crew, which have them slowly die by spitting out their own guts. This continues throughout the trip until almost everyone in the crew is dead, and then when there's like 2 or 3 people left, they finally decide they're gonna take an axe, go down, open up that crate, and kill whatever they find inside. When he does that and opens up the crate, Orlock only then decides to actually physically start killing them all, which again is only like 3 people. Dracula physically kills like, 20, 25, 30 people on the ship, whereas Orlock just accidentally kills them because he's just there. In fact, when the ship actually arrives to England, the city that they arrive in, Orlock's presence causes a plague across the entire city and starts wiping out hundreds upon hundreds of people. All of the hospitals in the city become full with plague victims that are just being infected by Orlock's presence. This is something that's not even in the Dracula version of the story. For the most part, it doesn't really matter what version of Dracula you're using. Whether it's the Bela Lugosi version, the Gary Oldman version, doesn't really matter. Dracula is always a man, an evil man, who then becomes a monster by selling his soul to some sort of satanic force, and through that he is granted great power and becomes a monster. But he's still a man who is evil. Orlock is not. He's not a man at all. He's a force. He's not an evil man. He's just evil. Orlock is not capable of things like love or affection. He's the personification of death. He's like the Black Plague if you turned it into a monster. At one point in the new Nosferatu movies, which I'm not really distinguishing between the old and the new Nosferatu because they are so fucking similar, the new one is damn near a shot-for-shot recreation of the original film with just some added context here and here and, dialogue scenes because the original was just a silent film, so they really didn't spend a whole lot of time with people just talking to each other, but they're basically the same movie. But at one point in the new film, the protagonist of the movie, Ellen, is talking to Count Orlock and calls him a villain, to which he corrects her by saying, "I am appetite, no more, no less." That is about as accurate of a descriptor as you can give for Count Orlock. His entire purpose and existence is to just consume and kill. His vampire bites don't turn people into other vampires. He doesn't control people for any long periods of time. He doesn't care about mesmerizing and creating brides for himself because he needs some form of love or affection from people. He doesn't care about any of that. When he bites people, they fucking die. When he dominates people's minds and controls them, he fucking kills them. Dracula's purpose of going after Mina is to make her a bride of his so they could be together forever. Now, you can argue that this isn't love, this is just his evil control over the will of others, and that's probably pretty accurate. But Orlock's whole reason for going after Ellen, who is like the Mina replacement, is not to control her or to have her as company or to make her a bride. Orlock doesn't have any brides. He's just going to kill her. He's obsessed with draining her of all that she is because she is a purely good person and he likes destroying what is good in this world. A lot of people say that Count Orlock's death is really stupid in the Nosferatu movies because it's like he just gets tricked into sucking her blood all the way until the sun rises and the sun kills him and that's it. It's like that's really stupid. Like he even sees the sun coming up and he just chooses to stay there and keep drinking her blood. This is really dumb. He's a dumb character. He's not a character. He's a force of appetite and consumption. It makes way more sense if you think about him as that, as just this force of evil. Yes, he saw the sun coming up and he still continued to suck the blood of Ellen because he has to. It's just something that he's compelled to do. He needs to consume and kill and destroy, and he does have trouble stopping himself from doing that. This is actually shown at the beginning of the film when Ellen's husband, I'm forgetting his name, arrives at his castle and cuts himself while they're at Orlock's dinner table. It's very clearly shown there. The moment blood is drawn, Orlock has trouble controlling himself and tells him, "You better be fucking careful. Like, you kind of need to get away from me right now." Like, he can't stop it. This is an aspect of the character that doesn't really exist for Dracula for the most part. He's always more or less in control of his own thing, and he's just kind of an evil dude. He's not a force of evil like Orlock is. So the question then becomes, how will the crew of the Super Destroyer be able to deal with Orlock, or will they be able to deal with Orlock in any conceivable way? And the likelihood is no. Just his presence on their ship will cause a plague that will cause them all to die. If any of them actually try to attack him, shoot him, burn him, none of this will work. This is another thing that's a difference between Dracula and Orlock. Dracula is not weak to the sun, but he can be harmed by things like beheadings and stabbings. This is shown to hurt him in basically every version of his story. Later on, they started doing the whole stake through the heart situation, but even in the original Dracula book that I had some gay guy read for me, and the Gary Oldman version of the movie, he's severely harmed and even killed by a knife stab to the chest. There aren't nearly as many rules around how to actually kill him. Count Orlock, by comparison, literally cannot be killed by anything except for sunlight. Literally nothing. He can't be stabbed, he can't be shot, he can't be blown up. Weapons don't affect him. He can literally just become shadow if he wants to. These differences are shown at the end of both movies. At the end of Dracula, they actually do corner him at his coffin and just straight up physically attack him. They try to stab him, they try to cut his head off, and they do eventually kill him through just physical means. In both Nosferatu movies, they try this to Orlock. They do burn all his coffin so he doesn't have anywhere to retreat to once the sun comes up. But in both movies, they come to the conclusion that the only person that can do anything to Orlock is Ellen, because Orlock wants Ellen, and she's the only one that can distract him long enough that he'll get hit by the sun and won't go into hiding afterwards. In the Dracula story, both Mina and her husband live to the end. They even go on to have like some kids and shit. In the Nosferatu story, that's not an option. Ellen has no choice but to sacrifice herself to kill Orlock. It's literally the only way that they can figure out to kill this motherfucker, because any other way he just won't get hit by the sun, and they can't kill him outside of that. The only way the crew of the Super Destroyer will be able to kill Orlock is if they take their ship and they fly it as close to a sun as possible and make sure that every inch of their ship is covered in some form of sunlight. But there are so many ifs in that scenario that I'm just not seeing it very likely that that will be the case. For one, if they fly the Super Destroyer near a sun, will that sunlight hit every single inch of the Super Destroyer? Like, there's nowhere where Orlock can hide where the sun won't be able to reach him? Because if there is anywhere, he'll just hide there until the ship moves again. And he doesn't even have to come out and kill anybody. Like, even if they decide, okay, we're just gonna sit here, he can't stay there forever, eventually they'll just naturally die of the plague. Like, they're on a timer, he's not. He could just wait. Not to mention, we don't even have a way of knowing if they would know that sunlight is the way to kill Count Orlock. They would likely just think he's some form of alien and try and kill him all the normal ways, which won't work. So they're gonna have to figure out that he's a vampire, ergo, you can kill him with sunlight, ergo, then drive near a sun before the plague kills us, ergo, then make sure he somehow gets into that sun. Honestly, what's most likely gonna happen is that the entire crew of the Super Destroyer are going to die of plague before anyone even knows to check the crate. They have no reason to believe the crate that Orlock is locked into has anything to do with the plague. The only reason why one of the characters in the original story opened up the crate thinking it was something because he was superstitious and he believed that the plague that was being spread among the crew was a curse that was being caused by something on the ship, so he started checking the fucking crates. But if no crew member on the Super Destroyer is superstitious and doesn't believe in fucking dark magic, they've got no reason to check the crates. It's just a fucking sickness. Now, maybe they could check the crates because they might think that something in the crate is causing the disease to spread, but wouldn't that cause you to quarantine the crate as opposed to opening it up and checking it out? Quarantining the crate wouldn't do anything because, again, he would still just passively affect you with your fucking plague and kill them all. Doesn't solve the problem either way. And you can't jump to Helldivers using a hell bomb to blow up the fucking ship and killing everybody because there's no evidence that that would fix their problem in any way. Like, there's no reason to believe that that plague would go anywhere outside of the ship that they're currently at, so why blow up the ship? If you find out about Count Orlock and try to blow him up with a hell bomb, that wouldn't work. You can't kill him with a hell bomb. There's only one way to kill him. It's only sunlight. Any way you slice it, they can't deal with this motherfucker. There's a lot of ifs, and honestly, he could just kill them all very, very quickly. They're not gonna survive, really. I mean, there's a chance. There's a small chance, but it's not gonna happen. Last up, but certainly not least, we have Seth Brundle from The Fly, and people are going to be so confused. I get it. Seth Brundle should probably be first on this list in terms of which people will die first if the entire crew of a Super Destroyer finds out you're there and tries to kill you. Saying that Seth Brundle is going to survive longer than the Predator or fucking Count Orlock is crazy. And honestly, it's arguable if he will survive longer than fucking Ghostface, because at least Ghostface is a human being that can, like, you know, not kill people and blend into other humans. Seth Brundle literally turns into a giant fucking fly. How is he last on this list? And the reason for that is because these videos are not versus battles. They are would they survive challenges. And in terms of will Seth Brundle survive, yes, he will absolutely survive because Super Earth will not let him die. The fact of the matter is that Seth Brundle is a genius scientist who not only built a fucking teleporter, but also a gene splicer. Considering that Super Earth's greatest scientists have struggled to understand understand teleportation technology to the point that we have a warp pack now, and it's literally stated in the description of that item that scientists don't really understand what the fuck it does or how it works. They're just sort of going with it. Not to mention the fact that Super Earth has been dabbling in eugenics for literally generations to try and create stronger soldiers, and this dude Seth Brundle just accidentally made one? How could you just kill off someone so valuable? Even if he does turn into a giant fly, by the end of the movie, he still has his mind. He's still that genius scientist. He is aware of himself, and he still has the same IQ. I don't think Super Earth is gonna care that he turned into a giant fly. I think Super Earth's gonna be like, you're gonna put that fucking fly to work, and you're gonna start building us new technologies and shit. We are adding you to our scientist team. If you happen to kill a couple of people here and there, we don't really care, because you're more valuable than their lives were anyway. We'll fucking give you people to kill if you need to. Just keep building shit. Improve our teleportation technology and start using that gene splicer to make stronger soldiers for us, and you can basically do whatever you want. I don't see any possible way that Seth Brundle will not be captured alive, because there is no way that Super Earth will allow him to die. The only way I could possibly see that happening is if some lower SDAF officer pulls a gun out and shoots him to defend themselves, not realizing like they didn't get the orders to Super Earth yet. If Seth Brundle starts becoming a fly monster and they see this, they're going to, because it takes time for him to actually, transform into the thing. It takes them weeks and weeks and weeks for it to happen. When they see him start turning into a monster, they're going to report this to Super Earth. And when they report it to Super Earth, they're going to be like, okay, keep watching him, put him in some kind of containment field, like lock him up some way, bring him back to Super Earth. We're going to see what's going on here. And they're going to study his transformation as the transformation happens. And when he becomes a fly and they realize that he still has his same mind and intelligence, they're going to be like, okay, we just learned a lot. Okay, apparently we can fucking gene splice people into fly monsters. That's useful. What else can we do? Seth, get back to work. Figure this shit out. Let's try and make this a little more controlled so we're not turning all of our people into giant fly monsters, but we can probably turn them into something super, super useful. This is going to be awesome. Now all of a sudden Seth Brundle becomes their head scientist. Your warp packs no longer can kill you. It can allow you to travel way farther distances. They can now teleport instantly from one planet to another without even needing the use of a ship. And all of their soldiers are given insane power-ups by having them genetically spliced with other bigger, larger, more powerful creatures. Dude, Seth Brundle just single-handedly made Super Earth significantly more powerful than it otherwise was. Why on earth would they kill him? I would say that if anyone on that Super Destroyer does kill him, that dude will be executed immediately when he gets back to base. How dare you kill someone so valuable to Super Earth? So am I saying that Seth Brundle is the most powerful being here and that's why he survives? No, but he is the most valuable and that's why he survives. Hey, do you guys know the YouTube algorithm really likes it when you watch a video all the way and then click on another video that's advertised at the end of that video and go on to that? Like they just love that shit. It's like their favorite thing. They love that shit about as much as Rick loves to, have a home and not be drowned in a pool, So maybe click one of these videos and go on over there and check out one of those. There's 4 options, I promise you Rick would very much so appreciate it. But that's gonna be all from me. Hope you enjoyed the video. And always remember, y'all stay safe out there, you hear?